Dante DiVincenzo etches his name in Knicks history and in the record books, and Chris and I are here to break it all down. All that and much more on the Knicks Digest. What's up, guys? It's your boys Dariel and Chris. And Chris, we just saw the Knicks put the beat down on the Detroit Pistons, beating them by the score of 124 to 99. But I want to get your takes. I want to get your thoughts. Tell me some takeaways that you had from the game tonight. Obviously, Dante DiVincenzo playing like a madman out there. Talk to me.
All right, so I have two things on my mind. One of them is just, if I'm being honest, I think that Dante DiVincenzo has shown this season that he's one of the keys to the New York Knicks succeeding in the playoffs. He might be the genuine X factor of this team. I think going into the playoffs, and by X factor, I don't mean it has to be like the best player. I'm not saying he has to be Brunson. He doesn't have to do this every night. He doesn't have to be exactly taking over for Randall fully if Randall's not there, which I think he will be. But the thing with DiVincenzo is they need this level of elite three-point shooting if they want to go as far as they believe they can in these playoffs. Because if you look at the Knicks right now, we know the defense is going to translate to the playoffs. It did last season with a similar enough team and the exact same defensive scheme. We still are seeing a lot of the same Knicks. I mean, starting tonight was four guys who were in or who were on the Knicks last year in those two playoff series. So we have a few different names that we can kind of look at who are new. The big one, obviously, is Dante DiVincenzo. And I know some people are going to say OG Anunoby. With as good as OG is, we just know he's going to be our lockdown defender. And yeah, we need some offense from him. But Dante DiVincenzo, we know he's a good defender. We know he's one of the best three-point shooters in the NBA, but we need him to be arguably the best three-point role player in the league this playoffs if the Knicks want to see the Eastern Conference Finals. One other quick note, Dante DiVincenzo is on one of the biggest steals of a contract in the NBA. In 2027, he's going to be getting around $12-13 million.
And get that bag, boy. Nah, but you make a great point. Like, especially with Julius Randle not being healthy for the rest of the season. And he is going to come back, but he's not going to be his old self. I think Knicks fans, we got to face facts. He's not going to be his old self. Yeah. He's going to be playing through injury, so we just got to deal with it. OG Anunoby is another one. He's going to come back, but he's going to play through pain for the rest of the season. So we got to deal with that. So that's going to put a little, not pressure, but like I said, you make a really good point. That makes DiVincenzo, like, we need a little bit more out of him. And I'm not saying that Randall and OG Anunoby, they're still not going to, try to do their best. But they're like a little bit behind the eight ball. And Dante DiVincenzo, luckily, he hasn't had any injury pop-ups. So he's in a better groove rather than Randall and OG Anunoby. But, of course, Dante DiVincenzo, we're talking 40 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. We're talking 14 out of 23 from the field. And, of course, the three-point barrage, which is 11 out of 20. So Dante DiVincenzo tonight with that 11 out of 20 from three-point land, he puts himself. Well, he's the leader, right? As far as most three-pointers for Knicks, he's the leader, number one.
Yeah, so right. He broke the record that was tied by Evan Fournier and J.R. Smith. J.R. got it done in 2014 and then Evan Fournier in 2022. So right. Both years that this was done also, quick note, Knicks didn't make the playoffs. So little bad luck streak just gets broken tonight, which is awesome.
Jalen Brunson, 28 points, 2 rebounds, 6 assists, 10 of 20 from the field, 50%, 3 of 7 from three-point land, 42.9, which is 43%. I mean, yeah, tonight he had a good game, but again, it's the Detroit Pistons, head coached by Monty Williams. And before we started recording this, me and you were talking a little bit about the Pistons. We're not sure what the hell they're doing. The only thing that I really liked from what I saw tonight was that they took this game serious. It wasn't like a lackadaisical effort. They knew that they wanted to smack the Detroit Pistons as soon as the ball was thrown in the air. Because sometimes with these games, the teams get lackadaisical. They don't show effort, and the next thing you know, they're in a tight game with 2 minutes left, and we're needing every bit of Jalen Brunson's heroics. But tonight we were chilling. So Jalen Brunson had a pretty good game.
They know, like, as much as you're focusing on this game to game, week to week, month to month with the NBA, especially if you're a player, like, they know that the Cavs are playing the Charlotte Hornets or played the Charlotte Hornets tonight. They knew the Cavs were almost certainly going to win. The Knicks obviously want to be as high of a seed as possible, especially when the team in front of you is the team that you smacked around in the playoffs a year ago. The Knicks looked at this game and was like, look, this game, weirdly enough, has become a must-win for us. And we know the Pistons are going to come out there and try to beat us because of that controversial ending to the last time the Knicks and the
Right.
Pistons played. And that was also in MSG. So the Knicks knew the Pistons were going to come out swinging, and they absolutely just put the hammer down early. And then the Pistons did start playing better after that first quarter, but the Knicks went in there, demoralized them, and just showed them, hey, you guys have learned this all season. There's levels to this. This is what an elite playoff team could look like. The Detroit Pistons are going to probably be first or second in the lottery, so
More than
maybe they
likely.
won't fall to fifth this year.
Yo, when you brought up that the last game that the Pistons were in the Garden, obviously we're talking about the I think the most horrific non-call of the season when Dante DiVincenzo threw himself. I think it was Asar Thompson's legs.
Yeah.
But then, but then that thought immediately led me to the other horrific call of the year, which was the Knicks in Houston when Jalen Brunson got called for that 3-point foul. So like the Knicks are part of two horrible, horrible calls of the season. But I don't know. That's just where my mind went.
We were talking about how Jericho Sims got more minutes than Precious Achiuwa, and it kind of led us to talking about who's going to be that final bench piece. The two guys who we said it was almost certainly between for that final spot, whether it's Bogdanovich or Achiuwa, assuming the other three, and assuming the Knicks are healthy, and the other three guys are obviously Josh Hart, Mitchell Robinson, and Miles McBride. Precious Achiuwa played more minutes than Jericho Sims again, and Bojan Bogdanovich got the second most minutes on the bench. So we just cannot. I have no idea what's going on with the Knicks bench.
I think it's gonna be Precious and Bogey.
I mean, maybe they're trying to figure that out now, and that's why they're getting the most minutes. I don't know. I'm very interested to see where this goes.
Yo, is it only me? But do you see Precious game? Like, do you see him fumbling the ball? Do you see him like with these awkward shots? Like, or is it just me? Am I bugging? Like, he had a couple examples tonight too.
I mean, I don't think Precious is the world's smoothest player or the world's second smoothest player. I do love the impact that he gives the Knicks. I mean, 16 rebounds tonight, 9 points. His defense is really good.
Detroit Pistons, the Detroit Pistons. I gotta throw that at
But he's
you.
done this before. Like as a starter, he's averaging around 10 and 10.
I'm just saying, man, when those playoffs hit and the lights become bright, I don't know if we're gonna see this Precious. Last time we were on a post game show, since then, I've been listening to all these different kind of podcasts. And they're talking about the playoffs, obviously, coming up. So right now, I believe we're the 4th or 5th seed, and vice versa with Orlando. They are the 4th or 5th, but Orlando's 4th or we're 4th?
We're fourth.
Okay, so it's like 80%, 90% that we're going to see the Orlando Magic in the first round. And I'm a little worried, yo. I'm a little worried because their emergence of Jonathan Isaac, this is the first time that he's been the talk of all these podcasts that I've been listening to. Everybody's having like a revelation of Jonathan Isaac, how he's like this ridiculously 6'10", close to 7-foot perimeter defender who's able to shut down players for a couple of minutes. And he can also spread the floor and hit the three. And he's healthy, which is the biggest knock of his career. So, of course, we're going to be heading into the playoffs dragging ourselves. Randall's not going to be 100%. Anunoby's not going to be 100%. And then the Orlando Magic on top of that. Yo, they're this young, athletic, and key word, hungry team. And Paolo Banchero, I believe, is a good enough player to carry the Orlando Magic. I'm not going to say pass the first round against us, but I can see them taking us to 7.
Looking at the Magic, I think the Knicks have one key advantage, which is they've been here before,
Experience.
and their best player has been way farther than just the first round before. DiVincenzo, their starting shooting guard, has won an NBA Finals, given he wasn't on the court due to an injury. At the same time,
You count that?
I am worried because I count it. It's experience.
My
I'll
bad,
die
my
on
bad.
that hill.
My bad.
No, you're good. They've beaten the Knicks 3 times, and I know that not all those times involved the current regime that the Knicks have, but it is worrisome. Jonathan Isaac has been a great player. If you follow NBA University on Twitter, well, first off, you don't follow them. Just everyone who's watching this, follow NBA University because they're like the best basketball Twitter account. But they have talked so much about Jonathan Isaac, and it's mind-blowing how effective he is defensively. I'm worried that he gets put on Jalen Brunson because he's a physical dude. And I obviously don't love that. I think that maybe Brunson can manipulate it to fouls, but so far Jonathan Isaac seems pretty good at not allowing that to happen. So yeah, and Paulo's great. I think the Knicks would need OG Anunoby and Julius Randle both to be there for that series because obviously the Magic are a big team. Even if you look at Franz, who's mainly been more of a wing in his career, he's 6'9". Like he's a big dude too, and he's just mobile, so he could play smaller than his actual height, which is massive because then also we're going to have a notoriously short team against the Magic. They need their two starting forwards there. They certainly need Mitchell Robinson there because they're going to need 48 minutes of above average center play between Hartenstein and Mitchell Robinson. If the Knicks aren't healthy, they could easily lose to the Magic.
Yeah, I mean, you said putting Jonathan Isaac on Jalen Brunson, but also Jonathan Isaac on Julius Randle. And if I'm an opposing player and I know Julius Randle's shoulder is not 100%, as soon as the ball is being thrown in the air, I'm testing that shoulder. I'm testing that shoulder. If he's going to be driving, I'm going to be very physical with him. And the same thing with Anunoby. Like, I'm going to be testing out that elbow. And then you're asking other players to step up, maybe in a role that they're not comfortable. I think Dante would be comfortable because, like you said, the experience. But Deuce, again, like, even though we're giving him a lot of praise, we don't know how he's going to handle the situation. Precious. I mean, Bogey has experience, but we don't know about the minutes. It might be limited. There's just a lot of question marks that I've been having, and the more and more I'm thinking about it, us seeing the Orlando Magic in the first round, at first I was like, okay, we 5 or 6, you know? But now I'm just like, golly, man, I'm thinking about the lineups, the matchups, what they can offer on the defensive end. I'm like, yo, I wouldn't be surprised if they take us to 7. I'm going to take Knicks in 7. But if they beat us in 7, man, it'll be obviously a tragedy. It'll be it will be very disappointing, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I think if the Knicks aren't healthy, they're going to see some problems. I mean, even so, yeah, you're probably right that Isaac will guard Randle if Randle's there because Jalen Suggs has had an all-defensive level season. And it's very, very likely that that can continue into the playoffs and they give the Knicks hell. And so the Knicks are going to need to be having all their guys there. And even so, you're right. There's no way Randle is going to be able to take as much contact as he's used to. And yeah, the Knicks can get in some hot water very quickly. And it will be a battle. And then right after that, you're going in to face the Celtics. So
sheesh.
Please get that 3rd seed, Knicks.
All right, guys, that's it for today's video. We want to say thank you for checking out this video. But of course, leave it in the comments and let us know what you guys think about the Knicks' effort tonight against the Detroit Pistons. Also, leave it in the comments and let us know what you guys think about the potential matchup against the Orlando Magic. Are you guys worried or are you guys calm about it? But until next time, guys, you guys know the drill. You know the vibes. Taj Gibson for president, even though he's on the team that we just whooped and we didn't see him on the court tonight. Jalen Brunson for all the MVPs. And until next time, guys, we out. Peace.